secret origins, the whisper that silences eternity. Imagine this. You're alone in the dead of night, heart pounding like a war drum. A chill creeps up your spine, not from the cold, but from knowing that whisper in the wind. It's not the breeze. It's him, the one even archangels dread. The shadow that doesn't chase. It arrives. What if I told you death isn't a scythe-wielding skeleton, but a silent guardian with eyes for every soul on earth? His name? Azrael. And tonight, in the veiled corners of ancient lore, we unravel his forbidden tale. But beware, once you hear it, you might feel his gaze upon you. Drop in the comments. Have you ever sensed the end knocking? Let's dive into the abyss. Narrator's voice, deep echoing, like a storyteller from forgotten tombs. Music swells with ethereal harps and distant thunder. Long before the stars learned to wink and the rivers carved their secrets into stone, before the first heartbeat echoed in the void, there was no end, no fade to black, no final breath stolen on a sigh. Creation hummed in eternal youth, a symphony without a coda. But oh, how the divine weaves tragedy into paradise. One forbidden bite from a serpent's temptation. Adam and Eve, those wide-eyed wanderers of Eden, shattered the silence. Sin slithered in like smoke, and with it, death, not a merciful veil, but a velvet blade, slicing eternity into fragile moments. Humanity, born to bloom and wither, and who, you ask, was forged in the fires of heaven to wield this cruel quill. Not the thunderous Michael, sword of flame, not the silver-tongued Gabriel, bearer of dawn's promises. No, it was him, the unspoken dread, the angel who doesn't herald. He concludes, they call him Azrael, whom God helps. But in the hush of the cosmos, his true title whispers, Malak al-Mawt, the angel of death. And his story? It's not one of glory. It's the chill that lingers when the lights go out. Picture the dawn of it all, when God's breath still lingered on the clay of creation. The Almighty summoned the celestial court. Gather the dust of earth, the cradle for my first children. Warriors trembled. Messengers faltered. Michael, the lion of heaven, approached the soil, but it wept like a lover scorned, roots clutching, winds howling pleas. Take me not, for I am alive. He retreated, heart heavy as forged iron. Gabriel, the gentle scribe, knelt next. Compassion bloomed in his eyes like morning dew. How can I wound what God has kissed? He murmured, turning away empty-handed. One by one, the mighty archangels bowed before the impossible. The earth, that stubborn mother, guarded her essence with a fury born of innocence. Then silence fell, a shadow detached from the stars. No fanfare, no blaze of glory. Azrael, once just a faithful silhouette among the host, his wings folded like forgotten scrolls. No words, no flourish. He descended like mist over a graveyard dawn. The earth quaked, begged, screamed in the tongues of storms. Spare me! I birth life, not endings. But Azrael, he listened. In some shadowed scrolls of lore, he leaned close, voice a thread of midnight silk. Fear not, weary world. This dust I take today. Tomorrow it returns as empires, as lovers' sighs, as a dust of stars reborn. Others whisper he said nothing at all, his silence the sharpest blade. With hands steady as the grave's own grip, he sifted the soil, cool and unyielding. Back to the throne he bore it, while heaven held its breath. In that instant, the scales tipped. God beheld him, not with thunder, but with a nod that echoed through infinities. You alone, Azrael, bear the weight no other can. From dust you claim the spark of life. Now from life you shall claim the dust once more. And so, the pact was sealed in starfire. Azrael became the weaver of threads, snapped short, the guide through the veil, the keeper of the final door. No longer a mere servant of light. He was the eclipse that devours it. Catchy, isn't it? One handful of dirt. And eternity got its undertaker. But Azrael's dominion? It's no crude harvest. Oh no, listener. It's a symphony of souls, conducted in whispers. In the sacred tomes of Islam and Judaism, he's etched as the ultimate psychopomp, that ancient ferryman of fates. He doesn't kill, he unmoors. A gentle tug, and the soul drifts free, like a leaf surrendering autumn sigh. Some say his breath alone unravels a knot between flesh and spirit. A sigh so soft, you mistake it for your own last exhale. Others murmur that the soul knows. In that electric flicker before the dark, it senses him. Eyes like black pearls, promising passage to gardens unseen or gulfs unplumbed. And how does he know? Ah, the scroll, that arcane ledger clutched in his grasp. Pages whispering like dry leaves in a crypt. Every birth inks a name in luminous script. Every death, a stroke of oblivion, erased in ink black as the void. It's no random reaping, no capricious cull. Azrael waits, patient as eroded stone, for the divine ink to dry. Your time, it decrees, and he moves, not with wrath, but with the inexorable pull of tides. Unlike Lucifer's fiery rebellion or Michael's clarion charges, Azrael embodies surrender, obedience carved from obsidian. He judges not, he delivers, and his reach, infinite. From the spice-scented bazaars of ancient Baghdad to the neon-veined streets of tomorrow's megacities, no heartbeat evades his ledger. Every tongue, every tribe, every trembling infant's cry, all threads in his loom. Catchphrase alert. When the scroll curls, the world quiets. Yet, he doesn't toil solo in this theater of twilight. Legends paint him as a shadowy sovereign of a spectral legion. Lesser angels, his phantom phalanx, dispatched like ravens to the fray. Gentle shades of the pure-hearted, gliding in on wings of dawnlight. Harbingers of horror for the shadowed souls, claws glinting like judgment's teeth. In cataclysms, plagues that paint cities in pallor, wars that weave widows' laments. They swarm under his banner, a storm of finality. But for the elect, the prophets, the sages, the souls aglow with quiet fire, Azrael graces them personally. To Moses, atop Sinai's storm-lashed peak. Beloved, the mountain calls you home. To Muhammad, in Medina's moonlit hush, the light awaits, step into its embrace. No terror there, just the hush before revelation's roar. Mysterious twist. Without Azrael's scythe, how would new dawns ever break? He is the shadow that bursts the sun. Now lean closer, for here's where the veil thins a gossamer, Azrael's form. Forget the feathered cherubs of Sunday school sketches. This is no gilded icon for altars. Ancient grimoires shudder to describe him, a colossus spanning horizons, for faces pivoting like sentinels of doom, gazing north to frozen wastes, south to sun-scorched sands, east empires rising, west oceans swallowing secrets. For 1,000 wings, my friend, not plumes of paradise, but a tempest of terror and grace. Some unfurl like mercy's mantle, soft as forgiven sins, cradling the worthy to celestial shores. Others forge in infernal anvils, iron barbs, razor hooks, shears that snip souls like withered vines. For the wicked, they rasp like chains in the abyss. And the scale, cosmic vertigo awaits. 70,000 limbs, each a conduit to a fleeting life, stomping across realms unseen. But the true nightmare, his flesh, a living mosaic of eyes, tongues, billions, pulsing with borrowed vitality. Every eye mirrors a mortal's gaze, the artist's fevered stare, the tyrant's cold squint, the child's wide wonder. Every tongue echoes a voice, laughter in lovers' dens, screams from scaffolds, prayers lost to gales. When you draw that final, ragged breath, one eye winks out, one tongue stills. His body mourns you, reshapes in the wake of your absence. A flaming whip coils at his side, not for punishment, but proclamation. Thus ends a chapter, and the earth, to him, it's a trinket, cradled in a palm vast as galaxies. Borders, laughable illusions. Time, a flickering candle he snuffs at will. Even the bearers of the throne, those titanic sentinels propping divinity's seat, bulkier than black holes, cower. They, who shoulder infinities, are but footnotes to his grandeur. Why? Because Azrael isn't the fray. He's the curtain call, the encore denied. Catchy line. Michael storms the gates of hell. Azrael simply locks them. Lucifer, that fallen morning star, quakes not at swords, but the quiet that follows his blaze. For Azrael heralds nothing. He concludes, but his mask, It shifts like smoke in a seer's mirror, tailored to the soul's final hue. To the righteous, Rumi in his rose garden reverie, Nasir Khusraw drift in dream tides. He manifests as solace incarnate, a robed wanderer with eyes like forgiving stars, voice a lullaby luring to luminous unknowns. Come, weary pilgrim, he breathes. The feast awaits beyond the horizon. Their passing? A sigh of homecoming, petals falling soft. For the fractured, the deceivers, the devourers of innocence, he looms as apocalypse unveiled, a maelstrom of fangs and frost, ripping the soul like parchment in a gale. No mercies murmur, only the howl of regrets unchained. In Sufi shadows, they say he mirrors you. If your heart hoard hate, he arrives as your own demon, devouring the lie you lived. Dreams? His prelude. Visions flicker like fevered omens. A cloaked figure at bedside, finger to lips. Prepare, he intones, for the tide turns. Mysterious hook, ever woken drenched, tasting ash on your tongue? Perhaps he knocked, and you answered. Why? Then, did heaven's elite, those radiant rebels and regal guardians, shrink from his step? Simple. Azrael was a period at story's end. Not villain, not hero, the inexorable Finn. Legends murmur a celestial halts. Choirs falling mute, swords sheathed mid-swing, trumpets choked on their blast. Even the throne-bearers avert their gaze, wings folding like supplicants. For his command, universal. Angels, too, could taste his touch if fate decreed. He danced no duets with destiny's divas. No alliances, no epics. Just the solitary stride to severance. Epic line. In the grand opera creation, Azrael isn't a villain's roar. He's the silence that swallows the applause. And death itself? Not his twin, but his thrall. In primordial parables, death manifested. A specter so stark, it felt angels like autumn oaks, comas spanning centuries. God, in mercy's forge, bound it to Azrael's will. He didn't chase the reaper. The reaper trailed him, a hound on heaven's leash. At Armageddon's curtain, souls sifted, realms rent asunder. The finale unfurls. Death, ram-robed in ritual, slain twixt paradise and perdition. Azrael watches, ledger closed. His vigil ends. Eternity, unburdened, unfolds. Twist of wonder. Was he death's architect, or its elegy? From these arcane arches, Azrael slinks into our shadowed folklore. No grim reaper's leer, but a nuanced nightmare, revered and reviled. Longfellow crooned at him as a gentle thief of breath, plucking souls like dew-kissed blooms. Hunt's verses drape him in ebony elegance. The reaper and the flowers, not slayer, but shepherd through sorrow's garden. Chesterton invoked him in verse-veiled battles, a spectral ally in spirit siege. Even Pop's playful pantheon nods. Gargamel's feline fiend in the Smurfs, a whiskered wink to the winged whisperer. He's etched in our collective chill. The bridge twixt dread and deliverance. So, seeker of secrets, as the tale's embers fade, how does Azrael haunt your horizon? A harbinger of horror, or heaven's hushed herald? Fear's forge, or fate's faithful friend? Share your shiver in the comments. Your words might just echo in his endless eyes. Thank you, brave souls, for journeying with us into Azrael's endless night. Your curiosity lights the dark. Truly, it's what keeps these forbidden flames alive. If this whisper from a void stirred your spirit, smash that thumbs up, subscribe for more veiled truths, and ring the bell so eternity's echoes never miss you. Next, plunge deeper. Lucifer, the angel who shattered the stars. Until the shadows call us back, tread softly. The end watches. Sweet dreams, or whatever waits beyond.